Well, you're on the list someday. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Noah's in here working hard. So, I was gone for about a week doing a bunch of baling, and I couldn't get back to this tractor until yesterday when we did get back to it for a while, and forgot my phone, so I didn't have any footage. We have got the oil pan off, starter off, distributor off, oil filter housing off, and today, after Noah gets his motor mount there put together, or engine stand, whatever you want to call it, we're going to work on really getting this thing tore apart. Now, we did get the oil pump out, and this is the inside of that oil pan, which surprisingly still had some oil in it. I think the drain was just plugged up, and if you look up under here, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see, I expected that to be just covered in rust from all the water that was in there. But that crankshaft and those piston bearings and everything still pretty well covered with oil. Now, it is milky oil, but it's still oil. So the plan here, I believe, is to keep working on this, and we are just going to take it apart from the front, every bolt to the back. And by the way, Noah did get the 3-point off while I was gone, mostly. And what we're going to do is we're just going to disassemble everything, every single piece. We have everything in bags, then it's all marked, and it's going to get stashed over there, and we get down to just the transmission housing, and then we are going to slowly but surely start cleaning parts and put it all back together from the back to the front. So what that means is we don't necessarily have to mess with the engine yet, because we don't have everything I need for it, and we really got to go through it. What we may wind up doing, and I've thought about this, but I'm not sure how well it's going to work. I can't decide if I'm going to clean the upper parts of these sleeves and attempt to move the engine first. That way we can push the pistons up and out of the sleeves, or just drive the pistons and sleeves out all in one piece. The only issue I have with that is I don't know if I can get the connecting rods put back in if the pistons are too high up in the sleeves. I don't know which way is going to be easier, but motor is going to be the close to near the end when we get done to rebuilding everything. For now, our goal is to get this thing completely apart. So, you ready, Noah? Cleaning out this old toolbox area, we found a perfectly good hitch pin. You can still use that, Noah.
Yeah.
Along with a perfectly good spark plug, too.
Yeah.
Here goes nothing. That was way too easy. Alright, we're going to film this for my own benefit, so I can recall exactly how that all goes back together. And you're almost there.
Thank you.
Almost to get this part off of here. What are we going to stack our stuff on once you pull this whole thing off? There you go, Noah. Let's see if you can remove this. We will eventually take this whole thing apart even better, down to its sections, but for now we're just getting it out of the way. You got it, Noah? And once that all came apart, steering wheel, gearbox, dash, everything came apart together because the bolts were rusted and broken. But a very interesting, easy way Case did this. You can basically pull 5 bolts in a tube and remove that whole. One thing I'm figuring out is Case made it easy to get stuff apart in big sections, right? And in here we have our belt pulley drive, I should say. And just like everything else, it's froze up. Let's see, but the pulley itself isn't too froze. Just, I think there's going to be a lot of frozen bearings in this main shaft, this main drive shaft here. Overall, it doesn't look too bad in there. I bet the yellow and orange paint has something to do with the timing of it. Really got to get the book before we put it back together. I've never seen Phillips head screws hold the grease cap on, but here we go. Surprisingly, these bearings on the front hubs here don't feel too bad. Pretty good actually. Probably just need packed. We'll put them back in. Yep. Not too bad. Got gunk in there, but once again, there's some either really light grease or oil in these things, and there's a grease or a gasket around there. Got some rope in there. Acts like somebody's been trying to pull this.
I wonder who it is.
One thing for sure, I've seen a whole lot worse than that. These bearings are pretty good. Almost like they were replaced at some point. I think they're just up for a good packing, and I think those will survive. Interesting, this side, instead of running in oil like the other, this one's running in packed grease. Somebody's redone this one recently. Well, within the last 3 decades recently.
There you
That
go.
weight is heavy. Oh. You may be wondering why we didn't take the weights off first. Because they got these keys and everything on the back holding them in. So we figured it would be easier to get them off if we took the wheels off first. Alright, what we got here? Once again, nice and tight. I think these are just fine. And just for my own records, the felt seal on the right hand side was gone when we started this. Basically rotted off. Well, the original plan here was to get the pedestal out, and we took all the bolts out, but it's going to require a puller, I do believe, to get that steering arm off there, which I have, just not here. So instead, what we're going to do is pull the 4 bolts that hold this whole front sector to the engine, and just for now, take it all off in one piece if we can. I have the steering rod off, but now we're going to watch old Garrett break his back. Okay, here we go. That's not going all the way out. Got it? No, I haven't got the tool to take that steering rod out yet, so all come apart in one piece for now. Alright, so we're going to get some better jack stands here underneath this thing before we deal with it anymore. And have a cherry picker. Be here in about 5 days too late. But we do have an engine mount that rotates. Noah's got to put it together, and so what I'm going to do is go get my block and tackle, because we got some good heavy duty beams over our head here. Okay, so one of our lights decided to give up on us. We got the block and tackle, and we got a support beam. Probably not the best way to do this, but for now that's how we're going to do it. And Noah's still working on the motor stand, but that might be something we finish in the morning. We just kind of work it back and forth so we don't lift the tractor off the jacks if we can help it. Yeah, never. He's moving. Well, the sidewall not doing any good in there anymore? Out.
Oh, like that.
And I'm gonna lift up and that'll hopefully get the bottom out. Are we off that jack? Yeah, we're off the jack. I'll hold this in there. Okay, so here's where we're at, and what's happening is I think that pilot bearing is hanging up on that shaft that runs through here, the main drive shaft, probably rusted. And we have the wheels blocked so they can't roll, but I don't want to get too crazy because all I got is this little bottle jack stacked on a bunch of blocks under here, and I don't want this thing to fall. So we're going to do our best to be very careful here and continue with a pry bar. But yeah, see, I can hit right out to the very end, and then it hits a spot and just won't move anymore. Pry it out a little bit. Okay, so we figured it out. That was bad on my part. I didn't realize that this flashing for the bottom of the flywheel cover was still on here. It was so covered up in gunk I never even saw the bolts. But luckily it came out, and we can, I think, pretty easily straighten that back out. But let's take a look at our engine here. And I know I have terrible light, but that clutch is just rusted to pieces. And let's see if I can get a light in here. Yeah. A few mud daubers nests. We didn't tear anything up really. That bearing back there looks rusted. Next project is to get this motor, which we're about to set on the ground for now. We're gonna get this motor set on the ground, and then tomorrow we'll get our engine mount together and put it on there and take a look. But I think we're done for the day. Well, no, this is where we're gonna end here for tonight. We'll see you guys back here hopefully tomorrow. Get a little more tore off this thing, but we're gaining. Tomorrow we'll take off the belt pulley, the rest of the stuff off the top of the transmission, seats, whatnot. Get that torque tube off, get the tires off, and get back down to the base of the transmission and be about there.